series on Medivators, tabletop scope reprocessors. I'm already sideways. There you go. Nice straight up. This is a tabletop Medivators scope reprocessor, not a cleaner. The scope technician is the cleaner. They clean the scope before it goes in here. If you put your scope after exiting human body in this thing, I fucking hate you. I'm not going to work on your machine because now it's full of shit. You literally have to clean it. I got some issues. Anyway, so scopes, endoscopes, brachyscopes, blah, 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 all those things. So they go in here, here's your chamber, and you have these things called hookups. So you see these connectors right here. And every scope, you can go to Olympus's website or whoever your manufacturer of your scope, not the processor, and there'll be a list. It'll tell you, based on your model number of your scope, which hookups. And this is how you physically attach to the scope to clean out the channels that need to be cleaned. Sorry, you're right, cleaned. That need to be disinfected, we'll say, okay? Because remember, you clean the scope. The machine is the last level of a high-level disinfectant, like Cydex. Things that cause cancer, will burn your skin. You really don't want to breathe them or touch them. And it kills off all remaining bacteria would possibly be on the damn thing. 99.99999%. Anyway, so these are hookups. So this is a CER2. So you can do 2 scopes at once. So there's 7 hookups. Most scopes are only 3. So you just, hook up one here, and leave that one empty. Doesn't matter. These are different input. This is for filling the basin. Here's your drain. You should have a mesh drain screen on top of that. This customer either doesn't have one or didn't give it to me. It just looks like this. These are different customers. I got 2 at once right now. So that's it. You could have this in your shower. It's, for catching little things because you don't want them going back and messing up the valves and such. What else we got? Here's your lid. Latches down. Nice gasket. This gasket is replaceable. The whole idea is that helps keep the fumes inside. Some reprocessors will have a hookup. You can have something in the back, like the DSD 201s used to have, and the Edge and all those, to suck the fumes out of the room. Some people put this inside a fume hood, so that once again they're not breathing the fumes. But this down here is the reservoir. It's a heater reservoir because the fluid has to be, filled up. I'm just running water. Yeah, it's gross, right? Doesn't matter. I dump that anyway. So this is the heater control, and you just rotate this knob. Here's your power cord, power switch, yada yada. It goes up. This is your heating element. That's that guy right there. There's a float switch so the heaters don't turn on if there's not enough fluid. There's your temp sensor. Now, on your bottle of Cydex, I don't have one here, particularly it looks like that bottle right there. That's a Steris cleaning chemical for chambers. I'm sorry, for boilers, for descaling. You can put these in the chamber, but regardless. So, on the actual bucket, there's instructions for manual scope cleaning, or what we call cold soaking, where you're putting your scope inside the chemical and you're not heating it, it takes longer. Or for when we have a heater reservoir, one of these, automatics, because if you can heat up the chemical to a certain temperature range, it doesn't have to sit and soak in there as long, so this is quicker. So that's how that works. There's only 3 tubes going, 2 carry fluid up, 1 carries fluid back. This is a test reservoir that's plugged, so I'm not really worried about that. What else we got here? So here's your buttons. So I'm gonna do it this way, it makes it easier for everybody. This is your full cycle. This does a rinse, another rinse, LCG, which is your HLD or Cydex. And then it rinses it again. Got some air cycles. You can push alcohol as the last thing through it before you put in your scope cabinet. You can operate everything manually. Press manual, whatever button you want to start, or drain, all the stuff in. This is the wash times. This is however long you want the rinse cycle to be. 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Now the LCG times, the older ones, it was a 12, not a 5. That's before my time. I don't know which chemicals had to be heated for 12 minutes. Sorry, had to be sitting in heated LCG for 12 minutes. Remember, this doesn't heat it. The reservoir heats it. So once it gets up here, it's obviously going to cool off. But lid's closed, everything's set. It's a short system, so it shouldn't cool off too quickly. The newer ones, and there's a chip on the board inside we would have to replace, and then just a sticker here so you have a 5-minute cycle. I've never seen anybody use 20 and 45. I'm sure it's something to do with different scope manufacturers as well. Just like sterilizers, your sterilizer time is based on the manufacturer of the instrument, what they have, tested it and say that the sterilization cycle needs to be. All right, start, stop. When the thing is filling, if you don't have enough Cydex or you're not tilted properly, over here is a float sensor. It's inside here. There's some holes so the stuff gets in there. It has to be at a certain height. That's how they decide that the scope is fully covered. You don't want something sticking up. It's, imagine washing your car and you don't watch the roof. Like, what's the point of that? So in the allotted time, I think it's 6 minutes, don't quote me yet, if the float sensor doesn't go up and say, hey, I have enough, you get an LCG fail, and it'll just alarm to go, which is really annoying. Forget this button, it really does nothing. At the same time, if the thing completes when the cycle is all done, it also alarms, but only does it for a few seconds, it goes, and stops. Just so that, the user, wherever they are, knows that, hey, cycle's done, you can go get your scope out. All right. Here is power switch, power entry module. What is it here? So you can double check the temperature inside the basin, because the machine does not know what the temperature is. This is, you need to know what the temperature is, and you're setting it down here on this bad boy. Here are your hookups in the back. So I keep forgetting the side of this thing. So this is where the Cydex or Rapicide, whatever your solution is, returns to the reservoir. These two are where it comes in. This is your water inlet. There's a little filter in there, and it's spring loaded. This is your drain port right there. Some hinges. See these legs right here are adjustable so that you can, because part of the installation of this unit is also to make sure that it is properly leveled. Generally, this corner should be the lowest. Then this one, this is your overfill. So if you get too much of anything, it goes down the drain. And then the front can be the highest, nobody cares. So something I learned way back in the beginning of days, a larger, like an OER Pro or a GC201 or any one of those units, if the cycle stops for any reason, it picks up where it left off. Tabletop, the MV1 and 2, the CER1 and 2, I'm not sure, I think the OPTIMA has this also, they do not pick up where they left off. So when you stop it, you're going to restart. So you're starting all over again. If you have Cydex in your basin, well, the first thing that's going to happen at the beginning of the cycle is the basin's going to fill with water. So all your Cydex is getting diluted, and then it's going down the drain. And that shit's expensive. So, if in that situation where you have stopped the cycle for some reason, and you still have Cydex, HLD, LCG, whatever you want to call it, in here, liquid, chemical, something, the proper way to do it at that point is to click manual, manual, LCG out, and start. And then everything that's in the basin will go back down to your reservoir so you don't lose your chemical. And if you just want to get whatever's in here out and throw it down the drain, you can do manual, drain, start, and it'll do it. Filling your reservoir. You can dump bottles like that directly into the reservoir, which is really annoying. Or the easiest way to do it is dump them all into the basin, and then manual, LCG out or LCG return, and start, and everything's in the basin once it goes back down there. That's the easiest way to do it. If you want to dump your reservoir, you could, get one of those hoses, like when you're siphoning gas out of a car, don't ask. But I'm going to suggest that the easiest way is to manual LCG in, and once the basin's full, drain. There's still going to be some down there in the bottom, so you would have to tilt this thing up. Oh, it's not moving. Right, you would have to tilt it upwards, so everything goes back to the pickups. See those tubes down there? Yeah, this is really nasty. All right, I'm going to dump and clean this thing out. I want to run it with this. What else we got? This is your alcohol port. This is just a syringe with some tubing that goes to this, and it's part of the end of the cycle. You push alcohol through it because alcohol will dry in the air, so it's not leaving any bacteria or residue or anything that water may have. Now, if you're running this without a pre-water filter system, you're an idiot. You know, you are going to damage the machine, cause all kinds of issues, and then I got to fix it. I'm going to be pissed off about it. You should have that on, on your wall. Generally, water comes in from wherever your source is. Water pressure gets boosted because you have to be between 40 and 60 psi dynamic. That means when it's running, you're between 40 and 60. Not when it's not running and sitting there. That would be static. We don't really care about that pressure. It means nothing. It's not doing anything. So water comes in, hits the filter system. Sorry, water comes in, hits your booster if you need it. Then it hits the filter system. Then it comes right over here. All right? That's how this runs. If you are lower than 40, you are also going to have issues because you're not going to fill in time and you're going to have a lot of timeouts. And you're going to call me and I have to come in and tell you to replace your filters because you are, once again, a pain in my ass. All right. There you go. LCD, liquid chemical germicide. All right. So verify temperature, because remember the machine does not know. So that is done down here. I'll just show you real quick. We'll get this in. So plug this in, turn it on. There's your display. Mine is not flashing, that's just something with the camera, but moving this knob adjusts it. So you see whatever the minimum temperature for automatic mode is, and go a couple degrees higher, because remember, it's got to go up through the tubing and into the machine where there is no heater. All right. So that is your tabletop scope reprocessor. I'm going to do some more videos troubleshooting and digging into the inside of this thing. All right. Any questions? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments.